William Gibson once famously said, "The future is already here, it's just not very evenly distributed." What will the world look like a century from now? How will new developments change the ways we interact with the artifacts of our civilization, with our cities and systems, and with each other? Technology reaches amazing new heights every day, but seems to only magnify inequality, even while the general standard of living slowly increases. As capitalism evolves to handle emerging technologies and societal demands, our world will become ever more vertically fragmented, much like today's world, only writ larger. We can see these trends emerging already. Just take a look around. We live in a utopia and a dystopia, and a heaven and a hell and a purgatory, and an enlightenment dream and a surreal postmodern hallucination all at once, depending on where you live and who you read. Still, there's no denying that every last one of us has benefited immeasurably from the technology of the modern world. Projecting this trend forward, it might be predicted that the convergence of artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, green technologies, and ubiquitous computing will create an environment which is even more culturally and economically stratified, and yet filled with almost magical potential at every turn. The future is Fractopian. Two years ago, I began assembling a body of research on emerging technologies and accompanying societal changes in an attempt to get a handle on these questions. As the project proceeded, it expanded into numerous additional aspects, ranging from hard science research and soft science fiction to social media reporting and role-playing game design, eventually growing beyond one person's ability to readily comprehend the whole picture. And this is exactly the problem with forecasting the future today. With so much change happening on so many levels, it's inevitable that it will all interact, and with each new interaction, the complexity of the forecast increases until it becomes a complex network of interdependent projects. In early 2017, I called together a team of writers and world builders to assist me in my task. Meeting online on a monthly basis and staying in touch via email, we began brainstorming on the research material that was coming in and on the repercussions of the technological convergences visible just beyond the horizon. In addition to myself, the team included Nico Carcosa, Anthony Copeland, Todd Davies, Deanna Knipling, Sean Koch, Sharianne Lewitt, Adrienne McCauley, Brent Newhall, and Tiffany Reynolds. Together, the team collaborated on the creation of a fictional world we called a Fractopian future, and a fictional metropolis we called UbiquiCity, the city of ubiquitous computing. We soon began writing original stories based in that world, and as the project progressed, I continued assembling a sourcebook for science fiction role-playing gamers. More on that in a coming episode. The stories we wrote were gathered together in a collection entitled UbiquiCity, Tales of the Fractopian Future, now available at Amazon, Smashwords, and other online booksellers. As time went by, my findings and concepts quickly ranged far beyond the scope of the original project, and my research continues to this day, drawing more and more aspects of our future world into focus. Today, the subgenre of Fractopian fiction is expanding to support a second book in the series and an assortment of microfiction set in the same world. The assumptions of the Fractopian subgenre are: we don't destroy ourselves completely within 100 years. Corporations govern openly, usurping the roles once played by governments. Capitalism survives, but in a modified sense. Commerce and services become ever more privatized. A universal basic income is adopted in order to bolster the economic baseline, and reputation economies supplement existing commercial exchanges. The convergence of AR, VR, and AI leads to intelligent networked systems, adaptive robots, and artificial realities. A super dense, ad-saturated media landscape comes to overlay the physical world for those with the requisite hardware. Advances in green technology affect all areas of life, including molecular recycling and smart resource control. The Internet of Things connects all of our electronic devices in a global cloud from which all publicly available software and data can be accessed. Yet despite these amazing new developments and discoveries, and although a social safety net will provide a survivable bottom line for all citizens registered in the system, the modern trend toward economic disparity will continue to widen, creating a highly stratified culture with multiple layers of gradation. From the devices you use and the games you play, to the levels of access you enjoy, to everything from homes and healthcare to resources and the appearance of reality itself, every aspect of our cultural landscape will diversify, becoming more fluid and multi-layered. In this series, we will examine these trends, projecting today's advances 100 years into the future, with an eye toward the significant ways in which they will all interact. As we move through these topics one by one, my hope is that this channel will become a repository of data for other world builders and science fiction writers intent on working within the genre. Together, our combined efforts may yield a complex and detailed vision of a realistic potential tomorrow. Welcome to the Fractopian future.